Hi everyone, this is Ekaterina, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you some insights from my second week in the Level 3 certificate in counseling skills studies. Now, I mentioned previously that the type of qualification I'm trying to achieve this year will be provided by a special organization called CPCAB, which stands for Counselling and Psychotherapy Central Awarding Body. And in our second lesson, we specifically looked at their CPCAB model. Now, what is this model? It's something that's been developed in early 90s, and CPCAB is an organization that's been there for a while, so they do a lot of research. They have issued qualifications for over 150,000 professionals at different levels. So they've used all that research, all the work they've done to build a document giving more information on the expectations from the learners at each qualification level. So what is the sort of knowledge we should possess, what sort of skills we need to have, and also what sort of support we can provide to people with different problems. So for somebody like myself who sometimes questioned if I was on the right path with regards to choosing the right qualification, applying for the right course, it was certainly useful to read about this CPCAB model, because again, it explained how you can start with kind of simpler qualifications, which gives you the ability to be so-called skilled helper, and then as you progress through the levels you can become a counselor, and then you can go further into psychotherapy. So it was nice to finally have some sort of insight on that pathway, and also to get, I guess, more clarity on the fact that you can always go further, and just because I've decided to go into the counseling doesn't mean that I cannot go into deeper therapy at the later stages. So for anyone who would like to know more about this model, there's a document that is available on CPCAB website. It's a 12-page document. You can download it, and I will add the link in the description as always for anyone who would like to read it. And in today's video, I will be focusing on one of the parts of this module because I realized that the amount of information we went through during our second lesson was quite a lot. So when I was planning the recording of the video, I realized that if I try to squeeze everything in that I found particularly interesting, this will be a very long video. So I'm trying to cut it into parts. So I apologize for the delay, and as I said, I will split the content a little bit. But nonetheless, the model of CPCAB, it is split into three parts, the key elements of the counseling practice. So they first look at the three levels of clients' problems. They then also look at the three dimensions of the client's problems, and finally at the 7 counseling processes that can be applied. So it is almost like a three-dimensional model, and obviously it is not black and white, it's just used as a guidance for the people acquiring CPCAB qualifications, so that when we start practical sessions, it's a bit easier for us to follow a bit of a specific process. But nonetheless, as I said, it's still a bit complex. So in today's video, I will be only focusing on the part 1, which explains the 3 different levels of clients' problems. Now, I think all can agree that every single day we deal with a great variety of different problems, and not all of them can be resolved through counseling. Nonetheless, CPCAB, they actually came up with more or less a list of the common problems where counseling has been found to be efficient and helpful to the client. And then depending on, I would say, severity of those issues, and therefore what sort of level of support or qualification of the skilled professional they will need, they split them into 3 levels. So they start with the service level A, which covers the everyday problems. So let's say you are having problems with your parents, or you've just become a parent yourself and you are not very sure about this new role. You might have recently changed jobs, or you're suddenly unemployed. You have some issues with your relationship, or you lost your partner. You're trying just to make some changes to your lifestyle by eating more healthier, or by giving up smoking or alcohol. So all of those issues, whether they've been accumulating over a long period of time and just kind of growing because we've been avoiding them, or something that just suddenly appeared in our life, all of those would fall under the service level A as the common everyday problems. And an interesting thing to point out here is that in majority of cases, people are able to resolve those issues by themselves or by seeking support from their friends and family. However, sometimes, yes, you do need a bit of extra help, and this is where people can look for that support. And with regards to our qualifications, so a person who has level 3 certificate in counseling skills will be already able to provide support to those individuals. So for those who are not familiar with the UK certification system, the level 3 certificate, something that I'm trying to get this year, is equivalent to A levels or sort of 1 year before starting university. So anyone with level 3 certificate can already start supporting people. In fact, in some jobs in UK, they don't really require you to have counselling qualification, but they're looking for that level 2, level 3 certificate because they will know that you already have those basic counselling skills to support individuals with more kind of common, easier problems. Now, of course, it can also happen that a client comes to a helper and they start talking, let's say, about their smoking problem and that they are finding it really hard to give up smoking. And weeks can pass, a few sessions can pass, and they realize that the reason that person is struggling to give up smoking is because they actually have some social anxieties, and they use smoking to distract them from those nervous feelings. So whenever they're facing lots of people, they need to have that cigarette. And any such problems linked to anxiety, depression, so we're talking about common mental health problems and other psychological problems, those fall under the service level B, and they need to be worked on with the help of a counsellor. So to become a counsellor in the UK, you need to have level 4, level 5 certificates in counselling skills or other relevant studies. So this is equivalent to year 1 and year 2 of a bachelor's degree. And this is certainly that I will be looking into doing next year. So as I said, for more kind of deeper mental health problems, the skilled helper can no longer support with the level A service. They do sometimes need to refer that client to a counsellor, or perhaps they will still support that client with some issues, but as I said, they will also suggest to their client to see a counsellor where they can look more into those anxieties, where did they come from, and obviously maybe getting that awareness as well. What is interesting about this level service B is that it actually split further into the sub levels B1, B2, and it's depending on the explicit or implicit aspect of the issue. So in some cases, the client may come to the counsellor with a very clear target. They will specifically say, you know, I have this anxiety, it's triggered by this, and no matter what I do, I just cannot change. So they have a very clear target they want to achieve, and they have a particular level of reflection, self-awareness that they already know where their issue lies in. But on other cases, the client might come to a counsellor and they are just very lost and they don't know why they feel that way. They just feel very anxious in specific situations, or sometimes they might have panic attacks and they just don't even understand why they're happening. So depending on where the client is when they start counselling, the practice obviously will change, because if the client is lost and they don't know themselves why they're feeling in a particular manner, the counsellor will need to first focus on helping that client get that self-awareness, maybe self-confidence, self-trust in their own feelings and thoughts before they can initiate any change. So again, even though there's this nice model that CPCAB provides, but at the same time, this is not in black and white, and it needs to be adjusted to every client's need, their individual situations, and their own kind of unique stories. And finally, we have the service level C, which covers more severe and complex mental health issues. And this is where a person would need psychotherapy. So you definitely need somebody who is at least qualified at level 6, level 7, which is equivalent to completed bachelor's degree or master's degree. So again, as I said previously, it was nice to see that if I would like to go deeper after counseling, I just need to do additional studies on top of what I already achieved, and I can then go into, as I said, more severe, complex mental health situations, and yes, support those clients where they have issues that have been acquired back in childhood. So those are the sort of fears that we build up over the years, something that is very in the core of our personalities, and it's just much harder work to find those, identify them, and kind of work on them. So let's see how it goes. For now, I'm trying to take one step at a time. So currently my focus is obviously level 3 certificate, but again, it was nice to see that pathway. So this is what I wanted to cover in today's video. It's only 1/3 of the CPCAB model, and I will cover the other 2 in the upcoming videos, talking about different dimensions of client problems and also different counseling processes that would help the clients to resolve their issues. So as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please remember that you can reach out to me with any questions, any comments you have. Yes, just use the comments field. And if you like the videos, please also remember to press that like button, and obviously subscribe to the channel if you would like not to miss any future videos. But for now, I hope you remember to take good care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.